In this video, we're going to talk about how to prepare a response to Paper 2, Question 4 for AQA English Language. We'll do this by looking at extracts from 2 student responses to a set question. Don't forget that you can always pause the pod to take notes or give yourself more time to read through what's on screen. So let's start by looking at our sample question. Remember that question 4 is worth 16 marks, so it's a big chunk of the marks for this paper. It will always ask you to refer to both texts and to compare both writers' perspectives, feelings, or attitudes towards a topic. In this case, it asks you to compare how the writers convey their different attitudes and perspectives of London. Let's look at part of student A's response now. Press pause to give yourself time to read it carefully, and press play again when you're ready. So, student A begins with some focus on the similarity of the author's attitudes. They then identify that Dickens has a positive view of the city and believes it's chaotic, yet he's impressed. The textual references used are clear and secure, and they're relevant and embedded. The answer also contains subject terminology like imagery, adjectives, and comparative, but most importantly, the student focuses on the effects of this terminology. Student A's writing is especially clear when they talk about the writer's fondness for the city. When linking the sources, they use connective or comparative language. The answer shows a clear level of understanding with regards to the writer's views, and student A neatly ends the paragraph with a comparative comment. Their response follows the what, how, compare approach, and would receive a mark in level 3, which is between 9 and 12 marks out of 16. Now let's move on to look at student B's response. Press pause to give yourself time to read it carefully, then press play again when you're ready. Student B's answer begins with a strong focus on the writer's views and attitudes from the beginning, particularly when they note an element of admiration for the city. The student uses signposting words and phrases like suggesting, which shows, and implying to introduce comments, which focuses their response on the effects of the methods and how this is used to convey the writer's viewpoints. Student B makes clear links between the sources and uses a ping-pong structure in their response, confidently moving between the 2 texts. Their comment about the attitude not being idealised but instead more realistic is beginning to offer a more perceptive interpretation, and student B is linking more conceptual ideas. Textual references are carefully chosen and used throughout alongside precise subject terminology. The answer and each of the paragraphs follow the what, how, compare pattern, which ensures coverage of all key skills. So this response would be placed in level 4, which is between 13 and 16 marks out of 16. Hopefully you can see the difference between the 2 responses. To finish up, let's recap what you need to do to be successful at Paper 2, Question 4. You should think about what each writer's viewpoint is on the focus given in the question, zoom into how the writers use methods to present their viewpoints, make sure you compare the viewpoints of the writers using comparative language, and use signposting phrases to support the structure of your response. It's always a good idea to get some practice in before the exam, so why not take another look at the skills that student B has demonstrated and see if you can apply them to your own answers. You can use the question and texts in our AQA style Paper 2 linked to this pod, or use past papers. Good luck!